I bet you didn't know these facts about World War II. This is an image of the French women who had their heads shaved and they were publicly shamed and paraded through town. Many of them were also raped. Now, growing up, I was under the impression that this didn't happen until after World War II had already ended, but that's not the case. This happened in 1944 when the war was still going on. Young women and girls had their heads freshly shaved and swastikas drawn on their forehead. They were forced to march through the streets. Many of them were forced to march through the streets naked, carrying their infants, and they were also raped and publicly shamed. In Berlin alone, it's estimated that over 100,000 German women were raped. Many of them were gang raped and forced to get abortions afterwards. Thousands of them died as a direct result, many from injuries and many from suicide. Now that part is written down as acceptable revenge, but one part that they don't like to talk about are the other millions of women all throughout Europe that were raped and pillaged by the Soviets. Many of the countries that make up the Eastern Bloc in Eastern Europe were under the impression that if they let the Soviets go through their countries and westward to fight the Nazis, that the Soviets would then leave afterwards, but that's not what happened. Instead, what happened is the Soviets were raping and pillaging and burning villages. We have incidents like the massacre that happened in October 1944, amongst many others. In Hungary alone during 1944 and 1945, the Soviet occupation of Budapest estimated that 50 to 200,000 women were raped. In Poland, similar mass rapes occurred, and they said that all of this was justified. Now, maybe you knew about that, but did you know that Winston Churchill knew all about it and didn't do anything to stop it? Matter of fact, he hid it from the public because he wanted to maintain the alliance with the Allies, aka the Soviets. The Soviets were raping 8 to 80-year-olds during that time. Now, maybe you knew about that, but did you know that Winston Churchill had the MI6 create tons and tons of fake propaganda to get the United States involved? Examples include creating fake radio broadcasts that were pro-Nazi stations to spread rumors about German corruption and incompetence, etc., etc. Every week, they were putting out dozens and dozens of stories of fake propaganda trying to get the United States involved. One of the major reasons, if not the main reason that the United States got involved in World War II is the map that was created by Winston Churchill's MI6. This was a totally fake map that they created showing that Hitler had a plan to invade South America and then to expand towards the United States. These are what's known as disinformation tactics and psyops. Sound familiar? Now maybe you knew about that, but did you know about Winston Churchill's relationship with the Rothschilds? Now, Winston Churchill was a drunk and he was known to be absolutely terrible with his finances. He had a friendship, a long-standing financial and personal friendship with the Rothschild family. The Rothschilds provided bailouts for him because he liked to go to the casino and he liked to drink a lot. Matter of fact, when he became prime minister, they cleared him of $1 million in debt. And then they served as informal advisors on finance and politics. Now, maybe you knew about that, but did you know about the Cambridge Five and the fact that Victor Rothschild was not only investigated for it, but he was accused and went to court for involvement in it? Now, he also worked for the MI5 during World War II. It's okay to change your opinion once you learn about the truth. This is one of the major reasons why communists always use indoctrination. They use the youth and they educate them and they create more communists. That way they can carry out their will. By the time those children grow up and realize what's going on, they've already committed atrocities and they can be blackmailed. That's the point. Communists are responsible for killing tens of millions of whites in the past 100 years amongst tens of millions of other people. Now, this map led to a pivotal moment that they never talk about, because after this map was created, the United States decided to get involved. They decided that they were going to cut the oil that was going to Japan, and they cut 80 to 94% of the oil. At the time, Japan was in a war with China, and this is what led to them bombing Pearl Harbor because they were trying to get their oil back. That way they could continue fighting their war against China. Now, many people believe that Roosevelt had intelligence that Pearl Harbor was going to happen and that he let it happen. That way he had a reason to join in on World War II and he could unify America with that reason. They are pushing us towards war and they're using the youth to do it. At the end of the day, it's going to lead to genocide. That needs to be prevented. We need global white unity to prevent genocide in the future. Thanks for listening.